Wearable technology is all around us. Tech like smartwatches can be great for tracking our workouts and helping us to stay connected. But for some, the constant monitoring of daily stats like steps and sleep can lead to anxiety. In tonight's Prime Focus, ABC News medical correspondent Dr. Darien Sutton takes a deep dive to better understand the realities of tracking our health and potential pitfalls.
My choices almost were reliant upon the watch and upon like the data. I would almost let it control my life rather than it working out for like the sake of working out.
Nancy Chen has a passion for fitness, a Rumble boxing coach, and a yoga instructor. She aims to inspire clients wherever they are on their fitness journey. As a part of her own fitness journey, she relied on an Apple Watch to track her workouts.
I was already pretty focused on my workouts. It was something that like allowed me to hone in almost a level that like was, very unnecessary.
But for her, she says it ended up exacerbating some unhealthy behaviors.
I really struggled with disordered eating pretty much like off and on throughout college, and I was very much like an advocate for like speaking about it.
Nancy is one of a number of people across the country who say they have experienced negative effects while using wearable technology.
I broke my Apple Watch, and I realized that after like 3 months of not wearing it, it really helped confirm that I was like moving past my eating disorder.
We wanted to see for ourselves what these effects are and take these concerns to the companies making these devices.
Is there ever a moment when there is too much data?
I think that more data, more information is generally positive.
Being able to have visibility into what your body is doing and how your health is going, I think that's only good.
Is there any drawback or negative part of having this much information for someone?
There is a drawback for some.
Fitness instructor Sarah Mattis meticulously tracked her fitness stats until she realized something was wrong.
I was really anxious, and I was wondering, like, okay, well, am I actually burning calories? I don't know how many. Oh, it was so hard. But for me, I was like, if I don't have this thing tracking my workout, did I actually work out?
Take us through that moment when the wearable technology started to become more popular.
Yeah.
And it came into your life. Tell us about your experience with that.
Yeah, so I started with a Fitbit, and I thought it was cool that I could track my steps. For a while, it made me feel successful because I was like looking at my weekly stats, and I was like, look at that, you crushed it. And then I upgraded to an Apple Watch. I want to say like a couple years later. I asked for one for Christmas. My parents didn't realize the kind of chokehold it had on me, and like be like, oh, you didn't close your rings today, and I'm like, okay, better hustle. Sorry guys, can't come to the party, can't go to dinner. It's truly just, I look back and I'm like, I just want to give myself a hug.
Over the last decade, wearable smart technology like watches and rings have gotten more advanced and more accessible. They can track hundreds of different metrics, from logging workouts, sleep patterns, and stress levels. For some people, these are helpful ways to stay healthier, with features like the Apple Watch ECG even flagging heart conditions.
I just really appreciate all the work you and your folks have put into this in order to create a product that not only tells you the time, but also saves your life.
But for others, an intense focus on personal health data points can become anxiety-inducing and obsessive.
When you're bombarded with all of this constant information about your heart, your sleep, your weight, your fitness level, all of this stuff, I think a lot of times the trouble comes from we're putting a lot of that understanding or expectation for understanding on the individual.
According to a 2017 study of college students in the journal Eating Behaviors, using a fitness tracker is linked with a higher rate of eating disorder symptoms in some, but didn't necessarily cause the behaviors. And anxiety around wearables isn't limited to food. In one case study, one woman who was diagnosed with atrial fibrillation developed health anxiety after she ran nearly 1,000 ECG recordings through her smartwatch. Sarah and Nancy, both outspoken about their experience with wearable technology.
Do you remember that first time you worked out without it intentionally?
Yeah, it actually, my watch broke. I like literally just shattered it, and I was like, well, I'm forced to. But it felt really nice. I think I was able to really focus on my workout a lot more and be like very present versus just like always worrying about like what was going on there.
It's so interesting that you said being present, because Sarah said the same exact thing.
Yeah, it's really like you can focus so much more on the mind-muscle connection too, and like how you're actively feeling.
With endless wearable options on the market, some of the companies making this technology are starting to hear stories from users like Nancy and Sarah.
We are not beholden to the technology. The technology is something that should be supporting us and helping us.
Taking a different approach, Oura Ring sits on your finger without a screen or ability to send notifications. Its main function is to track sleep data.
Our philosophy at Oura has been to be come from a non-judgmental, a place where you're empowering. Every single feature that we build, right, is how do we put more control in the hands of our members.
Oura has partnered with Harvard University's medical school to study its sleep features. Those aren't necessarily risk-free for some people. Sleep researchers coined the term orthosmia to describe when people focus too much on data from a sleep tracker, actually making their sleep worse.
It feels as though sometimes you have so much information, it can sometimes feel overwhelming. Is there any drawback or negative part of having this much information for someone?
There is a drawback for some, and we sense that this is more common in individuals that really seek perfection in a lot of aspects of their lives. And so, I did everything right. Am I falling short of, perfect sleep score or the right duration? And in that case, simply, I'd say take a break and try to come back to it when you're ready to engage with it in a healthy way.
A good workout. Fitbit is really about trying to bring holistic health to people and giving people an understanding of what's kind of going on in their bodies.
Acquired by Google in 2021, Fitbit has been a leading player in the wearable tech space. We traveled to San Francisco to speak with their director of research.
We're interested in bringing the invisible and making it visible to people in terms of their health metrics and understanding how to control and improve their health. We try to meet our users where they are so that we can help them establish and meet the goals that they care about.
If users are feeling overwhelmed with the sheer amount of data being tracked, a common recommendation from the companies, turn off some metrics.
You want to calibrate your activity goals, or you want to, for example, you can actually turn off calorie tracking.
The devices and our entire experience is very configurable. So on the device, you can turn off or deselect certain metrics so they're just really not present.
At the end of the day, each person is different and should customize their device to their own needs. Doctors are still trying to understand what qualities might make someone more or less likely to have a bad experience with the wearable.
If you feel like you have a problem, a good litmus test is like, can you turn it off for a week, 10 days, 2 weeks, and see how much your life changes? How much time do you get back in your day?
Sarah and Nancy say it was hard to wean themselves off the devices, but that it's possible.
So if you could speak to your younger versions of yourself, or maybe even those who are out there who might not realize that they have a problem with their wearable tech, what would you express as signs to look out for?
I realized it when, if I forgot it at home, I'd be like, oh no, I have to go back and get it, instead of like, oh, whatever, like I can just go about my day.
That, and if you start allowing it to dictate your workout schedule, what you eat, if you notice that this piece of technology is keeping you from making decisions that you know in your gut would feel really good and honorable to yourself, that's really something to look out for.
So while there are benefits, some are feeling beholden to these devices. Our thanks to Dr. Darien Sutton for that.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.